If you're looking for consensus and broad-based support for something, I've not seen anything like what we're seeing in terms of getting behind this proposal for investing in energy efficiencies.
You know, the reason why we've put this forward is because it makes a lot of sense, and it makes a lot of sense in a number of different ways. One, it's a jobs machine. So for every $1 million of investment it's made, it supports 15 jobs. So that's a pretty good multiplier. And the second thing is that as we are a country and as we are a world which is grappling with the issues of climate change, we need to be looking at the least cost options here to meet our Paris targets. And that's where energy efficiency is a really important measure. We know that the built environment accounts for about a quarter of Australia's emissions. Many of the opportunities within the built environment are actually some of the least cost abatement opportunities in the economy.
We're backing and barracking for energy efficiency upgrades because they are a way to score 5 goals off one kick. You can grow jobs, you can cut costs, you can improve health, you can strengthen energy systems, and you can slash emissions at the same time.
I think people are now really starting to understand more in terms of energy efficiency, that it can often be the cheapest way to get emissions down, but it also has that double benefit of creating jobs and, of course, making energy far more affordable.
The focus of our stimulatory spending should be on 3 things. Firstly, jobs. Does it get money out the door quickly, and will it be productivity enhancing? And all the things that we're talking about today, renewables, grid and efficiency, tick all those boxes.
Energy efficiency has a special status when it comes to stimulus spending. Do you want to just unpack for us why that is?
Yeah, so I called energy efficiency a Swiss Army knife of the stimulus spend. It does 3 things just really, really well. Short-term stimulus, you get money into the hands of plumbers and sparks and brickies and plasterers, all the people involved in delivering energy efficiency. If they get money in their pocket, it will have a very rapid multiplier effect in the economy. They'll go out and they'll spend in their communities.
You've heard a lot, I'm sure, about how jobs rich this is. We've said let's back investment that can be tailored to local conditions. In other words, great energy efficiency, jobs rich, and jobs that are suitable for local communities. So this is a real strength of this kind of investment, in contrast, may I say, to big infrastructure. Pre-COVID, there were 3 million people who were living below the poverty line. We know that unemployment is the greatest risk in terms of you becoming deeply financially distressed, and we should be doing everything we can to minimise the out-of-pocket costs for people on low and modest incomes.
46% of Australians are currently working from home. In Victoria, residential energy consumption has gone up by about 27% since this time last year. We haven't even got to really the start of winter yet. We know that September is a critical time in what's going to happen in our country. JobKeeper is planned to come off. Most households will get their first energy bill post-winter. And I guess the rules around not disconnecting households will be lifted at that point in time as well.
We're also a small open market economy, and our fortunes will be determined by global megatrends. There's no bigger global megatrend than the move towards zero net emissions.
You're improving the asset base of the economy, and therefore there's a long-term multiplier effect because you improve the energy efficiency of your housing stock, your commercial buildings and your industry, and you reduce the input costs of your economy. So it's like you've taken the handbrake off and you finally got the handbrake fixed. Now you don't have to drive around with it. Well, you know, that has a long-term multiplier effect.
There is a first mover advantage for those countries that are able to decarbonise quickly. Countries that can get there sooner have an enormous competitive advantage in a low carbon global economy.
Certainly, efficiency is the single best thing we can be aspiring to. As you all know, a gigawatt that you don't need to generate is the best kind of low emissions generation.
To meet our Paris Agreement targets, we must do both deep energy efficiency and accelerating renewable energy. If we don't reduce our energy use whilst doing so, it will take us longer to get there and it will cost us a lot more.
Even if you just say, let's really, really put our shoulders to the wheel and get to 2 degrees, you're still talking about a 25% reduction in emissions by 2030. And if you do that at the same time as creating jobs and also continuing these tremendous trends towards human well-being in the developing world, education, pulling people out of poverty, then we need that economic growth. So you're talking about maybe having to reduce emissions on a kind of per unit basis, per unit of economic value add, by somewhere around 4 or 5% per year.
Energy efficiency is 2 different things. It's the kind of technologies that truly do reduce the amount of energy that you need, but it's also the enabling technologies that enable you to use those highly visible generation technologies more effectively. There's no question that the ultimate limitation to bringing in more solar and wind is being able to do that and keep the system stable and match loads to the supply and things like that. So there's just a huge opportunity for enabling technologies such as artificial intelligence at the operating system level, digitalization of virtually everything in the network, two-way communication, and all of those things.
There are enormous opportunities, and we've got a choice as a country, we've got a choice as a state. Do we go out there and grab them and set ourselves up to underwrite our prosperity for future generations, or do we want to be left behind and become a rust bucket state? It's that simple.
We need to keep working together to build momentum for an efficient recovery. We can create tens and thousands of jobs at the moment that we need them most. We can make our homes more comfortable and healthier. We can lower energy bills for businesses and households, and for businesses, we can position them perfectly for a 21st century economy. But none of that will happen without decisive action from government, and now is the perfect time to act. We look forward to working with all of you to make that vision a reality.